I want to bring in Scott Rouse. He's a behavior analyst, body language expert, and a friend of our show. And Scott has worked with the best of the best, top law enforcement, government, military, to help advise them about body language in certain and specific cases. Scott, it's good to have you here. You've been able to watch this video, this new, longer, I call it the prelude to the execution. What stands out for you?
There's so much that stands out for me. What most people are under the impression is happening, where the guy comes in, the sheriff comes in, he's relaxed, and the judge is relaxed. That's not what's happening at all, not even a little bit. Wow. When that guy walks in, watch what he does. His body language is really tight. He's moving constantly. He's going back and forth. Then he goes back and he makes a threat check. You'll see in just a minute, into the other room when he turns around and looks. And that threat check is to make sure it's okay, that he can do something, that there's nobody there.
Let's go full screen with the video. I don't want to miss a bit. You and I are on the screen, but let's go full screen with the video in the middle so I can really understand what you're saying and see the small details. Keep going.
Okay, that was a threat check where he just looked out the door there. And I believe it might have been the sheriff that was telling everybody to leave, maybe not the judge. Everybody got it fairly quickly. But then I thought, well, maybe it is the judge, because they're not doing what are called threat checks, making sure everything's okay. They're not afraid when they leave, and they're in a hurry, but they're not afraid when they leave. They never turned around and looked as they left. Now, see, just in a second, you'll see the sheriff walk to the door, and he checks out there to make sure everything's cool. Just in a second, he'll turn. But now let's watch the judge as well while we're waiting on that. He looks like he's calm.
He's smoking.
He's not. When he sees it.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times people smoke when they're stressed. He may have been, there it is, checking, seeing who's out there, making sure everything's okay. Then he shuts the door. Now, this judge knows something up. He looks like he's very relaxed and all that, but look how stiff his body is. He's braced against that chair. Nothing moves on him except his head. And if you were to go fast forward, you'd see his head just bobbling back and forth. It's almost like a ventriloquist dummy. It's going back and forth. Now, as they start talking, okay, I'll go some more for this. Everyone else is relaxed in there. Apparently, they were having a meeting or something about whatever they're going to be meeting about. But now, watch the judge. Now, at this point, he's trying to look relaxed. That's what that looks like. And we know that because how stiff his arms are. They're straight. When he's putting that food in his mouth, his head goes back a little bit too far. His arms are stiff. His movements aren't smooth. There's a threat check. He comes in and shuts the door. And maybe it was the sheriff that said that.
You know
something? I can't tell.
Yeah, when you were saying that his head was bobbing, I didn't see that at all. Is it super, subtle?
No, it's going back and forth. He's looking, it just goes back and forth. Nothing on him moves. There you go. Now he's going to stay in that position pretty much the whole time. His hand's going to go back and forth, but he's using his hand as a barrier. He's afraid of this guy. Something's up. There's some kind of relationship between these guys. I'm not saying they had a relationship themselves, but something's going on before all this, because this big guy, the sheriff, came in and he's got something on his mind. If I was a betting man, I would say he came in to do what he did. I don't think what was on the phone triggered him to do that. I think he was making the sort of preamble to say, here's why I'm doing this. I'm proving this to you. This is wrong. This shouldn't be happening, whatever it is. And that's when he gets up and does that. So I think I'm not an attorney. I can't say anything about whether it's premeditated or not, but it looks like this is what he planned to do when he came in there. He had this on his mind. So,
so I'll tell you what, I want to line up this next discussion with video. So I want to make sure our producer has the moment when Sheriff Steins actually stands up from the chair and then begins to sort of walk over towards the judge, because I felt, and again, I'm a real neophyte in this science, I felt as though the judge's body language changed. His hands went up, but not in a defensive way. It was almost like, what are you talking about? But here, watch this. Tell me what happens, and if you see a profound change right there, those hands going up, a profound change in the judge's behavior.
Well, of course, his limbic system is on fire right now because the sheriff has pulled the gun out. Now, watch what happens. He's sort of angled himself away from him, and when the hands go up here, those are defensive moves that when he puts his hand up. See that one down there? He's ready to throw that up, but he's saying, "Calm down, keep calm. We don't need to do this." And that's what people do when they're trying to get someone to calm down. You see those hands come up, and they start patting. In other words, patting the air down. He knows something's up here because the sheriff probably said, "I'll do whatever it is I'm going to do to you." I don't know if I can say going to kill you or whatever. But he told him what was going to happen. There he tells him to sit back down. Now you'll watch him back up a little bit here too, because he's way too close. When you're a marksman or you're a shooter, you don't get that close when you're shooting someone. If you're a professional, watch how far out his arm has to come before he shoots. So he backs up a little bit.
I want to ask our control room if we have another shot that continues from that moment, because the one thing I will say is, like, when anybody ever pulls a gun out, most people put their hands up and freak out right away, but it doesn't look like Judge Mullins is as freaked out as the average guy would be if someone in front of you pulled a gun.
Yeah, he's trying to talk him out of it. He's under the impression he can probably talk his way out of this, because I would be under the impression that he's done that before. He's not talked himself out of getting shot, but talked his way out of a lot of problems, and that's the way he does it. So there's the defensive move with his hand up. That's why I see a lot of times people with stab wounds in their hands and gunshots in their hands as well, because they hold their hand up to stop whatever it is. This isn't explosive behavior by the sheriff either. He didn't jump up and go over there. He's talking to him about this, and he's explaining to him why he's going to do this. And whatever it was that he did in this relationship, be it family things, be it whatever it is, that's what they're discussing right there. And he's telling him what's up. That's why he locks the door. Nobody's going anywhere. So I think he was doomed when he came in. Because if we watch him when he came in, you'll see the sheriff only looks at him twice. And the judge keeps his eye on him, because he's afraid of him. That's when he starts getting still. And at the very beginning as well, you see him, the nervous rocking back and forth. You'll see him, a lot of mouth movement. In other words, he's mouth grooming, licking his lips and things like that, and making these short, fast moves or quick moves, which let us know he's on edge. He's on edge when he came in there.
Well, let's roll that tape again, because you just mentioned when the sheriff first walks in, you're saying that you can see something very specific.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks normal to me.
Yeah, I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. That judge right now, his limbic system is starting to light up. He's worried. He's worried. I know it's tough to tell from this far, but I got to look at it. I blew it up and looked at it closely, and he's nervous. He's about as nervous as he gets. Because,
what about the fact that, Scott, there's all these other people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Do they have body language that suggests, something's wrong? Or does this look like, you know what, this is the judge's chamber and we got to scram when he says so? Like, what is their body language saying? Let's drop the banner so we can see the bottom guy too on the frame, if we can, please.
Okay. They're all relaxed. Nobody's worried. Nobody's stressed. They may be stressed because they're in front of the boss. You see the small things, but see, no one's in a big hurry. They're leaving fairly quickly, but they're not worried as they leave. There's the woman with the phone that was sitting on the windowsill. You can tell a lot from watching her. She's not worried, not even a little bit, about any of this. So these people have no earthly idea what's going on, which happens quite often because people don't pay attention to the little things that are happening. In a situation, they're not aware of what's going on around them. But if you watch this guy, the sheriff, he's still just briefly there in the doorway, but he's rocking back and forth. See how his foot's pointed toward the judge? Our brain, when our feet tell us a lot, because wherever they're pointed, that's what we're thinking about. That's what we're thinking about. And right here, see the one.
Why is he closing the door? Why is he closing the door as he's asking people to leave? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, he's closing the door, but at the same time, it's 1 second before everybody's cleared out of there. Isn't that odd?
He may have said something. He may have said something like, if you don't leave now, you're not leaving. But then again, they're not afraid when they leave. So that's the odd. But people act oddly when they're nervous. When his stress level has got to be through the roof, that sheriff, because he's got a plan. I believe he knows what he's going to do. I really do.
You don't think, Scott? You don't think that he blew his cork when he looked at the phone? You think it's all being formulated now?
Yeah, no. I think he planned on that. I think he planned on it. Wow. I really do. I hate to say premeditated, but he thought about this beforehand. He thought about this. Now watch that judge. See, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just watching. Like, there he is putting something in his mouth. Yeah.
He's trying, but
trying to look
how
relaxed.
Fast he's
maybe
going. Yeah, trying to look relaxed and watch him smoke. Now he's as that when even in that 7-minute break, he's having another cigarette right after that. I don't know if the guy's a chain smoker or not. That usually indicates someone's nervous when they start smoking. He was smoking obviously when he came in. But watch the only thing that moves on him is his head. What?
Yeah, and listen, this is just fascinating to me. I will end the segment, though, by saying that sheriff is innocent until proven guilty, even though we're looking at a video of what looks like a bald-faced execution. Again, steep hill to climb. Scott Rouse, I always love having you on. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
And we'll have you back again. That is for sure.